So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear it.
Those online hear us okay?
yes, we can.
Good.
I got a pen.
Oh, you're good now. You're good.
Sure.
Yeah, Landon looks like he's ready to roll.
Okay.
You see, blue ones.
Yeah.
That's so shocking.
Okay, it's 6 o'clock, and I have the honor of calling this meeting to order. There's a couple of new faces around the room and online. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Stuart Horn. I'm the Secretary Treasurer of the West Kootenay Boundary Regional Hospital District and the CAO at the RDCK. I have the honor of doing the elections once a year. So depending on how competitive this is, you could hear me for 5 minutes or you could hear me for an hour and 15 like last year. So we'll see where we go. This year we asked for nominations in advance. Thank you for those who sent those in. So hopefully that'll help streamline some of the process. Starting with chair, we received 2 nominations, one for Director Baker and one for Director Huitt. I will call for nominations from the floor for quick 3 times. So for the first time, any further nominations for chair? Second time, any nominations for chair? And third and final time? So with that, we will let each candidate address the board, usually go in alphabetical order by last name. So Director Baker, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Great to see your all faces and some new folks around the table here as well. It has been my pleasure to represent this board as your chair for the last year. It's certainly been an experience. As we all know, healthcare is certainly front and center in our province and even within our country. I do want to extend my greatest appreciation to Director Huitt and the staff here. It's been they're tremendously helpful, and Director Huitt and I had a great time at UBCM and had a few laughs on top of all that. So, as you all know, I'm extraordinarily passionate and for health advocacy, not only here at the health board, but within my own community, provincially and federally. So, and I would look forward to continuing that on throughout the coming year.
Great, thank you. Director Huitt.
Great, thank you. I don't like to hear words come out of my own mouth. Many of the things that Director Baker had said would be what I was going to say, but so I am asking for members of this board for your support of me for the position of chair. Many of the residents that are served by this board are rural, the majority of whom live in remote communities. I have been in total support of the vital projects that have been undertaken at both Kootenay Boundary Regional Hospital and Kootenay Lake Hospital in recent years. These facilities are key to the health of the residents of our entire service area. I feel it is important to now turn our focus to providing services to our more rural residents so they can access the same basic medical services as our urban counterparts. I would like the board to work with Interior Health during the next year to fulfill the mandate of the board. And that is that the main purpose of the West Kootenay Boundary Regional Hospital District is to provide funding for hospital equipment and capital projects. And projects and priorities are proposed each year by the Interior Health Authority with a list that is developed in consultation with IHA and the West Kootenay Boundary Regional Hospital District. I would like us to focus the next year on that collaboration and the consultation piece between our two organizations so that we can help deliver quality healthcare to all of the residents of our region. Thank you, and I look forward to your support.
Great, thank you. So yesterday, Christine sent out an email with how we're going to do the election. Mike is going to walk around the room, distribute ballots for those in person, and then he will walk around the room and collect them. For those of you online, the email came yesterday at 3:32 p.m. and it outlines the instructions. Please put chair election in the title and email your vote with the name in the body of the email to myself and to Christine. And we will tally the votes and be to suit. I don't see any questions online. We're good? Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
All right. Stuart.
Could I have somebody please send me the email addresses? I'm using a different computer and it doesn't have that on here. And I can't, so I'm sort of stuck. I can't vote. Stan's here.
I'm in the same boat as Hans. As an alternate, I didn't get the email.
I'll put it in the chat. Oh, Director Page beat me to it.
I was focusing on clicks. It's in the chat now. I don't know if it's overtly clickable.
Okay, in the chat. Oh, there they are. Any one of those three? Or both of them?
Both of them.
Thank you. I'm Stuart Horn. Okay. This one. Okay. Okay, so now I go to mail, go to I know that roaming alert. I know. Get out of here. Mail. Mm. Which one? Mhm. 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 I don't know. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
Honey Hand, did you get the email to respond to?
Yes, I have. Okay. Okay. I haven't got. Okay, like I said, I'm using a blank computer. How do I spell the two last names?
It was great.
Why don't you use whatever descriptor you want, because I think I'll know who you're talking about.
Okay. Yes. All right. All right. Okay. Thanks. Yeah, it's all right. Here we go. Okay. Mayor Council. Yes. There you go. Got it. Did you get it? Oh, come on. Where am I? Zoom. Okay. Electors. Oh my goodness. All right.
Hans, you might want to mute your microphone.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Appreciate.
No worries.
Receive it, thank you.
There they play this game, play this game. Let's do that.
Thank you. You've done,
Even
the
these not
discussion.
chilly.
Yeah, nobody else can comment. You are right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, but for the, but then this is my comment.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yes. Yes. There is above section is virtually over. Unless the board. We should have something there. Yes. Far more effective than I was when I started. So,
Like,
well, this is the first one of.
Okay, we're unmuted.
Yeah.
Okay, for the second time this year, because I did it for the vice chair position at the RDCK, we are pulling from a hat, because we are tied.
Oh my God.
Goodness.
We are missing two directors tonight, which means we have 28, and it ended up in a tie. So
I do too.
straight to the hat for that. We don't go back to the
Like
vote,
a
obviously.
shootout.
So I will
Yes.
hold it. Mike gets the distinction. I know the feeling. It's not great. Picking one end.
And it's not merit.
Should've just gone to the casino. I get to read it? You. Director Huitt.
Congratulations.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna leave the.
Yeah, sure.
Wait till everybody's appointed to do that. Oh yeah, they shared us that after. Okay. I will wait till the acting chair before a motion to destroy ballots, just in case there's one there too as well. So I will move on to the election of acting chair. We did not receive any in advance, so I'm looking for some nominations from the floor for acting chair.
I did send mine in and got a confirmation back from Christine that she received it.
Oh. Christine, did you get one for?
No,
Why would you not vote forever?
I've got one for you for executive.
Oh, sorry, it is, sorry, I'm sorry, I'm thinking executive, sorry.
Director McGregor?
Could I nominate Everett?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Can I get a second for that?
Right here.
Thank you. Second call for nominations for acting chair?
Excuse me, I didn't hear who was the successful draw for the chair.
Director Huitt.
Thank you and congratulations.
And a final time for nominations for acting chair. Acclaimed acting chair is Director Baker. And we have a chair's address and an acting chair's address, but I will just pass the gavel. Oh, sorry, motion to destroy the ballots. Thank you. Thank you, Director Jackman. Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. I'll pass it on to you.
Hopefully I won't need the gavel tonight. Thank you very much for your support. Half of you. Just teasing. No, thank you for your support. It has been a pleasure to work with Director Baker for the past year. And as he said, we did enjoy some laughs at UBCM, and we were with Director Gibbs. We were able to attend the meeting with the minister down in at UBCM. So that, thank you, Director Gibbs, for joining us. And like I said, I look forward to the next year and working together with all of you and seeing where we could go. This could be the final time many of us are around this table and our respective board tables. So hope you'll take the time to enjoy the companionship and support each other. So, Chair Baker.
Thank you for the nomination and thank you for your support. As I'm so pleased for Director Huitt. We've gotten along so well in the last year, and I don't expect that's going to change. I'm here to support her and in whatever direction she'd like to go. As she said, we had a great time at UBCM. As you saw in my report, we all talk about how much we love rural. Well, now Minister Osborne has her button on her thing that we gave her at that meeting, and she put on her tag. So, which is great, because if the health minister can get her eye, I think that only bodes well for rural British Columbia. So I look forward to, as I said, working with Director Huitt. You all know how to find me. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of and to chat. And let's see what as the chair said. This could be some of our last year sitting around this table. Silly season has begun, but having said that, I look forward to supporting my chair.
Great, so we will commence the board meeting. We've already taken roll call, so I don't have to go through that. Perfect. That usually takes a lot of time. So the order of business is a recommendation that we adopt the agenda as presented or as circulated by Director Jackman, seconded by Director Worley.
I have an amendment to the agenda, if I may, Chair.
Okay, go ahead, Director Gibbs.
Under the rep for boundary, it should be CJ Roads.
Oh, on here. Oh,
Or Greenwood. For the city of Greenwood. I believe that.
Okay, so for corrections then, when we get there, thank you, I'll read those out, but thank you, they've been noted on my agenda, my printed
Oh,
agenda.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
No problem, thank you for those. Right, so then, I'll call the question for adoption of the agenda. Favor? Maybe I'll switch to opposed, then not everybody has to raise their hands. All right, and the minutes of the June 26, 2025 board meeting have been received. Or will we do adopt them here? Okay, the recommendation that they be adopted. If there are no errors or omissions. Director Jackman. Second by Director McGregor. Any discussion? Anyone opposed? That motion is carried. And then appointment of directors. And as Director Gibbs pointed out, all of the ones for Regional District Central Kootenay are fine. But for Kootenay Boundary, Bill Wenman for Fruitvale has been changed to Catherine Goosford. Guessford. Welcome to the table. Thank you. And John Bolt for the City of Greenwood is CJ Rhodes now is in that position. So the recommendation is that the following regional district directors and alternate directors be appointed as directors to the West Kootenay Boundary Regional Hospital District for 2026.
And can I give a correction there, please?
Yes.
I wrote this in, wrote to Christine, but it's not Richard Dunstan for the Village of Midway.
Oh, okay.
It's Judy Wilsey. And Richard Dunstan is the alternate.
Did you get that? Yeah, as amended.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So will you second that then? Because I don't think we had, or did we have a seconder already?
I'll second that.
No, okay. So, anyone opposed? Okay, that motion is carried. And then for alternate directors, so we will then change the alternate for Midway to Richard Dunstan. So the recommendation is that the following regional directors, alternate directors be appointed as alternate directors to the West Kootenay Boundary Regional Hospital District with the, basically switched. And Jerry Shaw is no longer for City of Greenwood. It is John Bolt. And a change for Midway. So, I can see it. Karen? Dr. Hanegraaff? Although anybody opposed? That motion is carried. Now we'll move on to the appointment of the executive committee. So the following, we need a director for Arrow Lake, Slocan, Castlegar, and Decassa. Are there any nominees? Pop-up.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Director Casely if he's present. If not, then I've got somebody else. He's not present. Then I'd like to nominate my neighbor, Aidan McLaren Cove.
You accept?
Sure, thank you.
Any other nominations for that position? Great. Thank you, Director McLaren Cove. And for Kootenay, so that's Caslo, Nelson, Salmo. We have to nominate.
I'll nominate Director Page from Nelson.
That's Director Page?
If you have me, yeah.
No. All right, any further nominations? I didn't call for a third time. And for a third time. Thank you, Director Page. Congratulations, and for Boundary. Okay, all right. Nomination for Sharon Gibbs. Okay, any further nominations? I'm calling a third time. You know. All right. Congratulations, Director Gibbs. Forward to working with you again this year and then for a greater trail. The nomination for Terry Martin.
And I apologize for getting that mixed up before.
Oh, no worries. Do you accept Director Martin?
Yes, I do.
Do we have any further nominations? For a third time? Okay. Thank you. So, all right, so the recommendation is that the following directors be appointed: Director McLaren Cole, Director Page, Director Gibbs, and Director Martin.
Sure, so move.
Hackman, second by Director Hanegraaff. Anyone opposed? That motion is carried. All right.
Sure, you get some very.
We'll move on to delegations. So our delegation from East Hill. You want me to call you Mr. Wilkie or?
It's not.
Okay, so Matt in the room, and then we also have Lannon on
Email
line,
me.
so. Turn it over to you, Matt.
Well, thanks very much, Chair. Congratulations, Chair and Acting Chair. Pleasure to be here again. So today we'll be presenting two different presentations. I'll be providing the first one, and then Lannon, who's online, will be providing the second one. Also note our Chief Operating Officer, Jamie Chernoff, has joined us virtually as well. So she's on the line. So this first report here, this is the regular status report on active projects. So these are projects that we've already brought forward to the RHD and you've approved contributions towards them. So just wanting to give you an update on the status of these projects. And then after that, Lannon will be providing a presentation on the new projects that we're looking for your support. Okay, so you can advance the slides, please. You can just move ahead to I think it would be slide 4. Page 4.
My apologies, one moment.
I'll tell you, it is a little bit of a different format than you've been used to. So we've done some updating. So hopefully it lands well. So actually, if you just scroll up to the one before that, just one page up. Just to give a visual there. So this is just a visual of the map of this region and just shows a bit of the distribution of the projects. There we go. So distribution of the active projects in the region right now. So you can kind of see where they're spread out. So that's just the purpose of that. Just a little visual there. So if you can now move ahead, please. Okay, so we're going to start with Grand Forks and projects in Boundary Hospital. So the first one here is the replacement of a multi-zone air handling unit. So this one is installed and expected to be operational by the end of the month, which is in a few days, I think. So this one is essentially complete. So that's great news. This was a fairly high value project and definitely needed. So great news there that one is almost completed. So move on to the next one, please. Just continuing on. So we have, this is another air handling unit that's supplying air to a different area of the hospital, specifically some patient care and office space areas. And this one, the scope of work is just being finalized and estimated completion is in June of this year. And then the next one is the refrigerator blood bank. That one is the equipment has been received on site and so will be installed and planned completion for that is in March. That's nearing completion as well. Skip ahead, please. Okay, we have 2 washroom renovation projects at Boundary Hospital. So these were requested in separate years. So the first one here has been completed and the closeout is initiated, so that's great. And then the second one is just underway. The construction work will be commencing in February and the planned completion for that is in April. Next slide, please. Okay, now we're moving on to trail. So the first one here, Columbia View Lodge. So a couple projects here. The chilling and cooling tower replacement, another high value project. The construction is complete for this and just working on some of the final balancing and deficiencies on that one. So great news on that one. And then the second one, replacing the rooftop air handlers. Work on the tender is currently underway. So once that gets tendered, work will start and planned completion is in April this year. Next one at Harbor House, that's drainage system upgrades. And that one is complete and we're just waiting for the final invoicing on that one. So good news on that one. Move on to the next one. So this is at the Cairo Wellness Center. So two projects here. So more air handlers, lots of air handling projects going on in the region. So, but the infrastructure projects are very important too. So this one here is complete. So that's great news. And so I think just final closeout procedures are underway and the staff duress system is also complete. So closeout is initiated on that one. So good news, the two projects at that site. Okay, move on to the big one. Now Landon will actually be talking a bit about this project in his presentation as well. So I won't go into too much detail here. What I will say is that construction on this is planned for next month, next couple of weeks actually. So, and there'll be some news releases and some stuff happening. So Landon will speak a bit more to this one coming up. This is quite an exciting project for the region. Okay, moving on to the next, meal delivery system. So this one is operational. This has been another high value project for the site. It's just some ongoing work to address some deficiencies and some final cladding that needs to be installed. But this one is up and running, so will be closed off shortly. So more great news, and I believe Landon will be speaking to this one a little bit more in his presentation as well. If we move on, next one here. So another big infrastructure project. So this is a relocation and replacement of supply fans. So these are two large air supply fans that are providing heating and cooling for the East Wing Lab and Daily Pavilion section of the hospital. We do have temporary air handling units on site right now. And the new units have arrived and they are in the process of the demolition and then getting everything installed. So the planned completion for this one is in April, but this one is well underway and on track. So that's great news for that one. Okay, next one, another big one here, new CT scanner. This was one that you may recall, it was on like a 3-year plan and we had to bump it up because it was just, we were having issues with it. It was breaking down. We were having to send patients to Nelson, but then they were having issues with their CT scanner. So we had to bump this one up. So appreciate the support of the RHD to be able to make that happen. So the renovations are complete for this one and it is operational. So that's great news. And there's just some final work happening on some installation and final bits that need to be done. So full completion for March 2026, but it is operational. So great news for the patients in the region there. Okay, so continuing on here at KBRH, we have exterior mechanical room access. This one, you'll see it has a date of TBD. So the scope is just currently being reviewed. We have identified there may be a cost pressure on this one. We don't know what it will be. It's not a super high value project in terms of the cost. So hopeful if there is a cost pressure, it won't be that much, but we just don't have that information yet. So if there is any type of an impact there, we'll obviously bring this back to the RHD. And once we have more information, we'll have the completion date there as well. And then the next one here is steam plant retrofits. So the procurement of the equipment is complete and then just working on procuring the contractors. And this is really work around, essentially we're called ECMs, energy conservation measures. So really to find a way to, new equipment that'll be more energy efficient, environmentally friendly, that type of thing. So that project's underway with planned completion of July 2026. Okay, so still with Kootenay Boundary Regional Hospital. So direct digital control system modernization. Final work is just being completed on that one. So you can see the completion date of March 26th. So that's on track. Dining room solarium replacement. Procurement for the consultant is underway. The planned completion for that is later this year, October 2026. And then new freezer for the laboratory. The equipment has been ordered and we're just awaiting the delivery. That's planned for completion in February. Okay, so if we move on to where we are right now in Castlegar. Castlegar District and Health Center. So fire alarm system. This is one we'll also be talking about in the next presentation because there is a budget pressure on this one. So we are requesting some additional funds for a budget increase request. More information on that budget piece will be provided in that presentation in a few minutes. But work is still underway on this one. Construction work has commenced. And if all goes well and we can get the funding and everything, then the planned completion is still for April 2026. So we'll chat about that in a few minutes. And then the next one here with the heating water distribution upgrade. Schematic design is underway on that one. So completion in the summer, July 2026. Okay, moving on to Nelson. So this is the other CT scanner I was talking about, which also having issues. So we needed to bump this one up.
After he finishes, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Director Popoff.
Yeah, on the CT scanner in Nelson, being fully transparent with my residents, I told them possibly third quarter of 2026 it could be completed because this resident was scheduled for CT scan in August. Is there any chance that it could be completed earlier?
So third quarter of calendar year?
That's,
with September 2026?
he was hoping for August.
Oh, for August, yeah. It's always possible. I don't want to sit here and promise it though. We do try to complete all these projects as quickly as we can. The current schedule has it on pace for September. So.
Okay, I'll be transparent and I'll let them know.
Okay. But quite close. And again, this was one that we bumped up. This wasn't actually planned till an out year. So we bumped this one up again with the support of this RHD. And we're just wrapping up the design work and then it's going to move right into the actual installation and construction work. So
thank you.
Okay, so if we move on to the next slide, please. So still at Kootenay Lake Hospital. So two projects, medical device reprocessing. So one of them is the planning project. So this is one that you'll probably be familiar with because we've talked about this over the years. You had provided funding support for this one. We were ready to move ahead. However, it is currently on hold pending Ministry of Infrastructure approval. So essentially what happens with these, we do planning projects for like the really big high value projects. So like the MRI project, for example, the $35 million project, those types of projects, we do a planning project first and then we move into a delivery project. So as it stands right now, any planning project that we have needs Ministry of Infrastructure approval. And so this one is just currently on hold. So.
Well, in case you're gonna answer it next, so is the second one a stopgap? Because it's a lower, the actual medical device reprocessing renovation is a fraction of the money of the planning.
That's right.
How extensive I don't remember, how extensive is that whole project if the planning is 350,000?
Yeah, it's completely relocating it to a different part of the hospital, likely in the basement area. And so quite a high, expensive renovation to fit out that space. Of course, there's a lot of infection control type of CSA standards that need to be met when doing an MDR. So to actually move ahead with the full relocation and expansion of an MDR, that could easily be 10 million plus.
So would it just be reno, or would it also include a footprint expansion then? Because there's no room on that site. This is all reno, it's not an expansion as well?
Well, it's a relocation, so the space that the MDR currently has is quite tight, so they would get more space in. Now, of course, the planning work hasn't completed. We haven't been able to start it yet, but the initial concept is that we'd be able to relocate it to a part of the where there could be more space for it. So to the second point, the second one there, yes, that is more of a minor project. That's really just to it's infection control measures, improve ergonomic work areas for staff. So it's a bit more minor just to keep the MDR up to code, with the hope of eventually being able to move ahead with the planning and then delivery of the bigger project. So that one remains on hold till we get approval from the Ministry of Infrastructure.
So can I ask one more if I can? Then on the bigger reno one, that it's 10 million. We talked years ago about the laundry area, and that's it's a daylight basement area with loading bays. Is that space?
That's the area we've been looking at.
That is where, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't need to add on, but it will take up that space. Okay.
Yep. Yep. And if you've been down there, the condition, like it needs a lot of work.
It's wrong.
Got a couple of questions. One is general, whether this presentation, it will be made available. It was part of the package, and if you need it emailed again, it's part of the package that Christine emailed out. Presentation, so if you didn't receive that email, be in contact with Christine and she'll ensure that you get that. And we have a question from Director Marino online.
Yes, thank you, Chair. So just to clarify, this $350,000 budget for planning, that's to move it to a different site, a different area and expand it.
Correct.
Okay, so the 93,000 is just for the renovation of the current site.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Thank you.
Okay, we can move to the next slide, please. So still with Kootenay Lake Hospital, we have a waste and cardboard compactor that has been completed and the closeout is initiated, so that's great. Humidification of operating room, that one we're just in the process of going out to tender, and the planned completion for that is in July 2026. And then fluid cooler for heat pump number 2. The design of that project has just commenced and the planned completion is February 2027. So about a little more than a year off for the completion of that one.
So we have a question on that slide.
Me again. I thought years ago, again, we talked about cardboard compactors in separate units because if you have a operation where you get a lot of clean cardboard and it's worth money instead of filling our landfills with clean cardboard. But this looks like it's one unit. I thought there was going to be separate units, so cardboard could be baled and marketed and garbage would be separate. It's just one unit now?
I believe it is one unit. I can confirm that for you.
It's just, we try and tell everybody, including institutional owners, that it's better to separate the cardboard. It's the last thing we want to throw in the landfill. And cardboard balers, I don't think they're $500,000. There's little stores, Safeway stores, grocery stores, they all have them. Anyway, I thought it was something we talked about already years ago.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's one unit that does them separately or not. I'll confirm that.
Landon has his hand raised. Additional response. Go ahead, Landon.
Through the chair, thank you. I can confirm that it is in fact one device. There were significant delays with this project because of that exact point. The inability to put 2 devices in the space required us to limit the original scope. And that would be the ideal, but if you've been to the Nelson Kootenay Lake Hospital's campus, you'll know that there are real significant challenges with grade that were really difficult to mitigate for the teams. Thank you.
Director Watson has a question. Go ahead, Director Watson.
Yeah, thanks. So I'm gonna keep going down this road. Just for clarification, are you saying that waste and cardboard are now mixed and that's what you're dumping?
We will confirm. That's my understanding.
That's a significant increase in cost because it's, as far as I know, now I'm not sure where you go with that. There's actually fees involved with putting recyclables into the landfill. But you can take that one offline. I would just register that that's a serious concern.
Big pieces of cardboard. Isn't it an organic? Yeah, isn't it?
We will certainly
Compost.
you clarify that and provide that back.
Yeah, we don't want that in the landfill.
Did I see another hand up there or?
That might be.
All right, we'll move on then.
Okay, next, moving on to MHSU. So this is the new mental health substance use site on Vernon Street in downtown Nelson. The tenant improvement works for that facility have completed. And sorry, that picture is not of the facility. That's of the new health campus. So apologies for the wrong photo there. But this is the location downtown Nelson. So it is operational, up and running, and just some final work to close that out. So purpose there was to get something more centrally accessible for the client population downtown Nelson there. Okay, and if we move on to the next one. These are real pictures here of the health campus. So Landon will be talking about this one as well. So of course, great news is this did open, both the long-term care and the clinical services building. Probably as everyone knows, there was a flood there. So Landon will be providing more information on that, just on this project and on what's going on with the flood. So we'll just kind of breeze over that for now, but rest assured we will be talking more about that in a few minutes. And then if we move on to the next one, it's Nelson Jubilee Manor. And there's some electrical system upgrades needed and just scope is being reviewed and finalized, and the planned completion for this is in May of this year. Okay, moving on to Edgewood, McCusker, and Caslow. So for Edgewood Health Center, emergency generator transfer switch. So this is one, I actually looked back and noted that this was previously reported as completed. So I'll have to apologize, that was not the case. I'm not too sure how that happened. It was before my time, but there must have been some type of mix up. So if you're wondering why this is still showing up, there was a mistake made. That's our fault. So apologies for that. This one is still in progress. I did note that this was approved in 2021 and it's still active. So I did try to get some more information as to why this one has taken so long. So there were some issues originally. The original scope of this project did not meet the needs. So it had to go back to the drawing board. Then there was a budget increase needed. So there was just all these steps along the way that caused some delays. With all that said, where we're at now is we do have approved drawings and plan to be moving ahead with that work in February with the planned completion of August 2026. So hopefully by the next update, this one will be actually completed. All right, Arrow Lakes Hospital. So this is in the cusp. We have a washroom renovation to provide wheelchair access. And this one, we are waiting a building permit to be issued before starting the work. So I think we're expecting that any time now. And if so, the planned completion will be March 2026. If there's any issues with getting that permit, then obviously that can delay that. And then the next one is air handling replacement. And the design work is just underway. Planned completion May 2026. That one's on track. So still at Arrow Lakes. So staircase to the rooftop. This is more for plant and maintenance work. That one is complete and just doing the final invoicing. And then the next one is the combination industrial oven. So that equipment is being delivered and that's planned to be operational in February. Okay, so now moving on to the Victorian Community Health Center, one project here. This is a kitchen air handling unit, so design work is underway, and the plan completion for that is May 2026, so that one is on track. And that is the report. Need to answer any, I know that was kind of a real quick breeze through of a lot of projects. Happy to answer any other questions though.
See Director Main online has a question.
Yes, I do. I have a couple of things, a couple of comments that I want to make. Firstly, in your land acknowledgement, the Sinaiaks have not been mentioned, and they are a major nation that occupies the area, including Nelson, the Junction, the whole Slocan Valley, and up to the Nakusp and Edgewood facilities. So I really would like to bring your attention to that. And I hope that that does get included in the future, because they are a nation that still occupies this land. And other than that, it's a whole whack of work that you reviewed, and I'm happy to see and hear about the completions of so many projects, and I'm particularly happy about the 2 CT scanners. So that was the input that I wanted to give at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. And then through the chair, probably should have asked this when we were talking about the Castlegar Center, but pre-COVID, Castlegar Industrial Emerging Department was a high priority candidate for major capital upgrades. We've had some relatively minor upgrades been completed, but can we get an understanding if there's still any major capital funds earmarked for emergency department? And if so, are they on the priority list timelines? This predates me being on the hospital board, so I don't have any background on it, but it was a discussion topic at one of our council meetings, so thank you. Oh, and one more thing, supplement, please. Thank you. Just for information's sake about the waste and mixing cardboard with it. When I was managing Safeway, we averaged about 14,000 pounds of cardboard a week that was returned. 2 bales a day, 7 days a week, minimum. So that's an awful lot of weight going into the landfill.
I don't.
Yes, Landon, could I put that one over to you around the plans with Castlegar?
Through the chair, happy to respond.
Go ahead, thank you.
There are still requests. The reality is across the Kootenays, there are multiple requests for redevelopments as well as capital investment. They are part of a global prioritization process that happens for all projects throughout the health authority. And some were able to advance and some require delays for a variety of reasons. Essentially, the demands outstrip the resources that are available. And while there isn't an RHD supported project, there is some additional investment going into the Castlegar Emergency Department as we speak. This is work that is captured under our capital improvement dollars that are funded entirely by the health authority, and will go to improve the team station, the working station, the arrival triage area, and that interface between medical imaging and the emergency department area. That you've walked that space, you know it's a really congested and complex area to navigate. So there will be some work happening in the upcoming fiscal year to address that. And we keep the request for an emergency department review and plan and construction on our list. Thank you.
Director McLaren-Cove.
Thank you, Chair. And through the chair, it was the steam plant retrofits at the Kootenay Boundary Regional Hospital. There's a mention of energy efficiency being part of that, and we can, if you can get the information offline later, that would be great too. But just a curiosity about what kind of, is it for cost recovery? Is it for lowering the overall energy consumption? How, and more detail on the rationale behind that would be great. Please.
Yeah, so I do know with this one, it was end of life, so we were in need of doing a replacement of different components. Anytime we do that, we do look at more energy efficient solutions. Also with some of these projects, we get funding from the ministry. There's it's called carbon neutral funding. So some of these projects we do get support through them, which lowers the amount that then we then come and request from the RHD. So certainly if you want some more like specific details about what's going on here, we can definitely get those for you. But that the energy conservation measures are part of the scope of this project.
Okay, thank you.
Director Marino.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. One more question on that steam plant and the new equipment in there. Do you still need power engineers to run that plant after it's done? Because they were high pressure boilers previously, and I don't know if you got the low pressure boilers or not, which would say you don't need the power engineers. And if you don't have the answer, you can get back to us.
Yeah, I don't have that answer. I do know with some other projects that we've done, it doesn't necessarily mean that we don't need the engineers anymore, but the amount of support required becomes reduced. So that could be the case here, but I'll absolutely do follow up and circle back.
Thank you.
Questions before we move on? Lannon, go ahead.
Through the chair, thank you. Director Marino, the power engineers, my understanding, are still required to manage the MDR system, ensuring that the separate boilers and heating system and water system attached to the medical device reprocessing are still required. So I don't foresee there being any changes, but again, we'll take that back and confirm.
Okay, thank you.
Captain.
In fairness, because I knew I had it here, in 2020, we did review a waste and cardboard compactor as a single project for $324,000. So somewhere between 2020 and now, 26, you talked about you should divide those up because you save money and you do other good things. But it was a single project and it was supposed to be split and then somehow went back. But it was proposed 6 years ago as a single unit.
I've just got a general question for Lannon, something that, or no, maybe it was you, Matt, had mentioned that you got a general budget that doesn't come to the RHD for a funding request. I wonder if this group could be given a list of those projects so we're aware of them, because there's obviously things that are happening, good things that are happening that we're not aware of, that it would probably be good if we're speaking to constituents who ask, you know, what works have been done at our respective facilities. That might be helpful information, if that's easy enough to put together a list for us for the next meeting, perhaps. Lannon, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Yes is the answer. My recollection is that with Todd last spring, we did present that information. We wait until the end of the fiscal year, where a number of the projects are wrapping up and most often complete. And then we do bring that information back to the RHD to share. The small site capital investment is the name of the project or the umbrella project that we have reported back on in the past and look forward to doing so. I would anticipate in the spring again. There's about 30 projects that are happening across the Kootenays with respect to that pot of funding, and really good noticeable improvements for the experience of people who are using our facilities is often where we target these funds. Thank you.
We'll look forward to seeing that report. Great. So, presentation in there. Okay, thank you. And then Lannon, we'll go on to you for the capital funding request. Or is that? Yeah.
Sorry, there we go. Lots of screens open. Apologies that I'm going to have to move some screens about. Can I just check, before the meeting there were some sound issues. Are those issues still at play?
No, I think it sounds good.
It was with a video that I intend to show. Christine, were we able to solve that technical challenge?
We're not able to.
Okay. I'll show the video through my slide deck, and hopefully the sound works. We'll get to that in just a moment. Thank you very much, everybody. And again, Chair, Acting Chair, and Directors, congratulations on your nominations and appointments this evening. Gives me a great deal of pleasure to speak to you about some of the projects that have been top of mind for us in the operations team for the past year, as well as those projects that we're looking forward to tackling in the coming year. I will do my best to add additional color and provide the perspective of why the work that we do has an impact on the people who we serve and the team members who are providing those services. I'll acknowledge that I'm joining tonight's call from the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Silks Nation. And you know who we are, so I'll just skip to first and foremost my thanks and sincere appreciation to the investments that the RHD has supported in the past year. It, without question, has an impact on residents in long-term care, children receiving specialized hospital services, patients who need diagnostic and surgical care, and like I said a moment ago, the employees and our medical staff who deliver that care every single day. The proportion of the 241 million that the RHD supported was 5.6 million. And it's a significant contribution, like I said, that demonstrates the commitment to improving the health and well-being for all and ensuring that our teams have what they need to do their work. So I'm going to show you about a 90-second video. And because of the sound issues, I've turned on the closed captioning so that the narrative can be read if it's not being heard.
Our sincere thanks to Interior Health's Regional Hospital District partners for your support in 2025. Combined, the 7 regional hospital districts in the Interior Health region contributed nearly $241 million, an incredible investment in the health and well-being of our communities. Your support has made a real difference. Without it, many important upgrades to safety systems, digital infrastructure, facilities, staff spaces, and patient care areas simply would not have been possible. For this year's investments, Interior Health has reviewed our capital priorities to make sure our healthcare facilities can continue supporting the people who rely on them. We have looked at our buildings, equipment, and systems that care teams use every day, and we are investing where it is needed most. And with your continued support, patients, residents, families, and staff can count on high-quality care today and into the future. Thank you for your support last year. We look forward to our continued partnership in the year ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I think it's always important to remember that everything that we do day in and day out in the health authority is full of amazing acts of compassion and care, and it's supported by the investment in our infrastructure and our care equipment. So thank you very much. One of the first projects that I want to speak to this evening is the Nelson Health Campus, which had its grand opening on September 4th of 2025. And we welcomed Minister Ma, MLA Anderson, RHD Chair Baker, Columbia Basin Trust, and some of you in the room today. And we celebrated in the main lobby of the Nelson Fairview Gardens, this remarkable new building for health in the community of Nelson. We also hosted a public open house on September 19th to encourage members of the community to come and have a sneak peek inside the building and talk to our care team members and find out more about it. And as a reminder, the campus was built on the old Mount St. Francis Hospital site, and the campus includes two towers, the first being the Nelson Fairview Gardens, which is a 75-bed long-term care facility. And on October 9th, photographed there, we celebrated the first resident to move in, Mr. William Zaitzoff. And he settled in and continues to enjoy his new home in the Birch neighborhood, one of 5 neighborhoods that are named after the inspiration of the trees and natural beauty of the Nelson area. The other building, the Community Health Services Center, provides a wide range of community-based services and opened on August 8th, 2025. Spread over 3 levels, there are 7 separate services operating out of the space, including mental health and substance use, home health, and others. In addition, there is a daycare at the center which supports interior health staff and members of the communities and their families. As Matt had mentioned earlier, and many of you are already aware, we experienced a flood on the 30th of December in the community health services side of the building. It has resulted in those programs being relocated, and the mental health services have been relocated to our downtown Nelson space at 514 Vernon Street. And the remainder of our services, we have moved to the unused space that was in Nelson Fairview Gardens at that time. We do not yet have a confirmed date for reopening of the health services side, and we'll keep the public updated as we learn more, as it becomes clearer what the renovation timelines will be. It's important to remind everyone that IH leases the space, but are in fact not the building owners. And Golden Life Management and Columbia Basin Trust are able to answer questions about the timelines with respect to the renovations. Next, another fabulous project that is getting underway, as Matt said, in the next couple of weeks. It will not look very dramatic at the beginning, as lots of the changes that we start with are happening inside the hospital. And we need to create some capacity to do moving of programs, create the new space for the temporary MRI location. But that work, like we have said, is set to begin in just a couple of weeks. The beauty of this is that the new MRI suite will connect to the existing medical imaging department, inside to inside, as compared to right now, which is inside to outside in the covered MRI suite. And when it's done, there will be, of course, a permanent and far more accessible medical imaging department with a 1.5 Tesla MRI scanner. Top of the line piece of equipment that will have an impact on care, as well as have an impact on the quality of information that clinicians get following the imaging. As an example, chest scans currently take about 90 minutes to complete, and with the new MRI will only take 45 minutes. So this will enable us to perform more exams reduce the need for physicians to refer patients to larger sites due to our long wait times, and ultimately result in fewer delays for medical interventions. Next, the Boundary Hospital multi-zone air handling replacement. This was spoken about briefly. 8 zones really allows us to better manage the temperature variations in that community, improving the comfort for both patients and staff in the patient care areas. And really has been and continues to be, as we look forward, critical during the prolonged hot summer months that we see now, as well as helping us manage wildfire smoke that can create poor air quality. Matt also talked about the patient choice meal system and this new food system that we have introduced at KBRH. The heart of this project was a replacement of something called a Dynex rethermalization system with the new device, which is the Burlage Boost and Go tray delivery carts. It allowed our support services team to transition from cold plating of a meal to hot production, as well as bringing food preparation and the tray assembly closer to the point of service, making it more efficient for our staff and quicker to get food out to patients. So patients receive meals that are hotter and fresher, and has also improved the processes for our staff, like I said, making ergonomics a lot more effective, reducing strain injuries, and allowing staff to be more efficient. Now, hospital food has a long history of not being well regarded. And we survey our patients for the food quality. And what we have found through patient surveys is that patients who've been at KBRH reports better flavor and better timing of food, better portion control. The food looks better. The food that's supposed to be hot is hot when it arrives. The food that's supposed to be cold is cold and not warm because it's been sitting beside something that's hot. It also allows us to provide a better food service that aligns with the patient's care needs. And overall, people have had an increased confidence and comfort during their hospitalization. And that's from before as well as compared to other sites within Interior Health. This is a snapshot that shows what Interior Health provides in the Kootenay boundary region of the province. More than 8,000 staff, 4 hospitals, 7 IH owned and operated long-term care facilities, which is 632 beds. Lots, like I said, great work happens every single day in the Kootenay boundary region.
We have a question, Lannon, from Director Watson.
Yes.
Thanks. Lennon, I'm curious on your food improvement project. Was there actually an improvement to the nutritional quality of the food as well? And are you using more vegetables, local, healthy food?
Yes is a partial answer. I'm not sure about locality of the food, but the desire, actually the expectation, not a desire, the requirement is that the food that we serve meets the Canada Food Guide, and work to make sure that there are more fruits, vegetables that are served is part of that plan and approach. Okay. Moving forward, again, as we look forward to the next fiscal year, I'm going to spend some time highlighting some of the projects that we're excited about and identify what we see as really high value for staff, patients, clients, and residents. And to do this, we have taken the approach that the work that we do really falls under 5 themes that are listed there. Clinical systems, which is our core elements essential to providing care, life safety, emergency response. Infrastructure is about the utilities and building infrastructure that support continuous healthcare operations and ensure that our facilities are reliable and in compliance with safety and building standards. Safety care environment is about making sure we have a space that's functional for those that are using it, both patients, clients, residents, and staff, to ultimately enable high quality and respectful care. Digital health is a component of this because it really is underpinning most of the work that we do in the clinical environment, and strengthening our digital health systems is core to clinical care, information flow, and part and parcel of that is maintaining high levels of cybersecurity, patient confidentiality, and reliability and resilience across the organization. And then the final area is equipment. This is about sustaining and replacing essential clinical equipment to deliver services, and includes diagnostic and surgical equipment, as well as other pieces of care equipment to provide service. Starting in Grand Forks, as we look at projects and under the theme of infrastructure and safe care environment, first is the elevator modernization. The Boundary Hospital has two elevators, and this project will modernize one of our obsolete elevators. And it's essential to ensure safe, reliable, critical transportation throughout the hospital as we move equipment from the lower level, which is our services level, where equipment is received, where equipment is processed, that needs to be moved up and down through elevators, and will allow us to ensure that those services can continue. Second is a laundry air handling unit, and this is to replace a rusted and leaking air handling unit, and ensure that there's proper ventilation, infection prevention, as well as safe working conditions. In Arrow Lakes Hospital in the Cusp, also under the theme of infrastructure and safe care environment, we have the wheelchair accessible bathroom. So this will renovate the bathroom in Acute Room 2 at ALH to become a fully wheelchair accessible room. And this upgrade ensures that patients with mobility challenges can safely and, as importantly, independently access the bathroom facilities, maintaining and supporting dignity and comfort. It also ensures that staff who are using that space, as they often do, have a safe and large enough room to support the patients that they're caring for, reducing the risk of injury and creating a safer environment by making it more maneuverable and reducing some of the hazards. At Kootenay Lake Hospital in Nelson, there are 3 projects that I wish to talk a little bit more about under the theme of infrastructure, safe care environment, clinical systems, and equipment. The first is the permanent patient room doors in the emergency department. The emergency department, while relatively new and very well designed, has curtains that cover the front components of the treatment care space. And this will install permanent glass doors for both the resuscitation room and 6 nearby patient rooms, removing and replacing the temporary panels and curtains that are there. This will allow us to improve privacy, safety, and infection control while supporting growing volumes of patients at that site. COVID really showed us the importance of having contained spaces in emergency departments, and this allows us to be responsive to any of the growing outbreaks that we see from time to time, not just COVID. It might be an influenza or measles or something like that. This allows us to keep staff safe as well as patients safe.
We have a question.
Yes, please.
Director Jackman.
Yeah, thanks through the chair. I just have to ask, I do recall going through the walkthrough when the space was open and thinking, wow, there's more than a back wall. It's not 3 walls of curtains. That's great. You were able to hang equipment and they're well fit up, I think, in your ER there. As life goes, I got to spend time with my daughter in Cranbrook and with my mother who had a bad fall in Kamloops for 8 hours in Kamloops. It's 3 curtains on all, there's 3 walls of curtains in those facilities. Busy into the evening. You don't want to be in Kamloops on I forget it was a Friday or Saturday night when the ambulances roll in with fight people. They had the Kamloops RCMP with one person restraining, and they had the correctional officers from the big prison there with another. Chaos. And yet we have a facility with 3 walls already and much more privacy and separation. So the question, is this a new standard? Because if it is, this is $1 million for a site that's got 3 walls per cubicle. Is this going to be $100 million job across IH? Is this a new standard, or why are we putting $1 million into this when there's so many other things to do?
I would say that the standard is changing. The standards have changed across the board with how we build long-term care facilities, how we build hospitals, and how we build all of our infrastructure, in fact. And I think the Nelson Health Campus is a good example of what a modern long-term care facility looks like today as compared to Poplar Ridge, which was designed in the 50s, built in the late 50s and 60s. So there is progress. Is this the standard? Likely yes. Is there a movement afoot to change this across the organization? I can't speak to that with certainty. What I do know is we identify where we would like to see this happen, where we think we can maximize the dollars at hand to improve safety. And this was one area that we believe makes sense. We're doing similar work in Arrow Lakes with the support of the local auxiliary and foundation. So this is piece of work that's happening in many, many areas. Much like we have started to move away from shared patient rooms in hospitals and long-term care facilities and moving entirely to private rooms. But it doesn't result in an immediate ask to make those changes across the board at any one time.
So if I can, we understand that you turn off chief operating officers on this call for monitoring this. It just seems incredible to me that you'd be spending the $1 million on one of the cleanest, most modern ER areas I've seen versus other ones which are all curtains, no privacy, and out and out chaos, like chaos. And I'm sure you spent some time in them. I don't know if all of the board of the Interior Health has spent time in these. They must have. If they're my age, they have family that are going in and out, very elderly family members. It just seems crazy to me, if this is not the standard yet, that you wouldn't be going somewhere else where it's all curtains and starting to sort things out there for privacy, for safety. And I thought the whole point of Nelson is there is an excellent isolation room already with a double door and negative pressure. We toured that, 5-10 years ago. Just doesn't seem like the place to start with this kind of an upgrade. So, that's just a comment for the board to think about. And they're looking, it's the easiest place to make the upgrade and the cheapest, but probably not the most needy.
Fair. I can't speak to the asks at Royal Inland Hospital simply because I don't know what they are. That may be part and parcel of the project. If Jamie is still on, I'll give her the opportunity to add. What I do know for certain is that a single room is completely not adequate. And like I said, this is work that's happening in multiple facilities across the KB for sure. And when I used to work in the North Okanagan, it too was work that was happening there to add the number of sealable spaces. They don't have to be negative pressure, but we really improve safety just by being able to seal it.
Go ahead, Lannon.
Okay, moving on to the next project is the physiological monitoring system in the emergency department. This dates to the original new unit in 2011 and requires a replacement. The physiological monitoring system is a bedside monitor that you see in the emergency department or in ICUs that continuously monitor someone's blood pressure, their oxygen levels, their temperature, their electrocardiogram, and gives a number of pieces of information to the clinical team in real time. What makes this unique is that it's connected to a central system which displays that information to team members in the team station so that they can see what's happening with a patient's heart from that central team station and respond to emergencies quickly if an alarm is going off because they can understand what's happening. And then finally, a seclusion room door in the emergency department is the last project. And this is about replacing a damaged and aging door that is used to safely care for those who are experiencing often a brain health crisis and require a space that's purpose-built and designed to keep them and staff safe. And upgrading this door improves everyone's safety who requires that room. Next is the under the theme of infrastructure, it's the heating boilers at Nelson Jubilee Manor. The current heating system is over 35 years old and overdue for replacement with risk of emergent failure, in fact. And this heating system upgrade will include the replacement of the atmospheric boilers with modern boilers, which will improve reliability as well as performance. And then finally, at KBRH, there are 3 construction projects that I want to talk about a little bit more in depth under the theme of infrastructure and equipment. The first one is the MIS towers, and MIS is the minimally invasive surgery, which is used as part of any procedure which involve the tube-like cameras, laparoscopic surgery that we do for knees, that we do in people's abdomens. And it's a very high-tech video system that gives the surgeons a really clear picture of what's happening inside the body. And we know that technology has changed quickly, and though it's about 7 years old, it's already outdated, and there are far better pieces of equipment available to us to improve the visibility for our surgeons. It combines a camera and a control unit with a really powerful light source into one piece of equipment, giving doctors the best possible view while operating. And I see a hand is up.
Yes, go ahead, Director Marino.
Thank you, Chair. Oh, Lana, just wondered, I didn't see it, but how many towers are we talking about?
That is a question I don't have at my fingertips.
Okay.
I don't have the answer at my fingertips, rather.
So, but you're replacing what's there now?
We are, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't have that. Moving on to the thallium laser. The thallium laser is a piece of technology that's emerged as really a significant advancement for urology and those who require care. It enhances the body's ability to stop bleeding and is really a crucial procedure involving bladder tumors and minimizes, like I said, the bleeding and helps with surgical outcomes. The precision and control improves safety and improves the performance of the surgeons who are performing the procedure. Next is the lower main conditional power distribution redesign and replacement. I am a nurse. I'm not a power engineer. Bear with me. I don't necessarily understand exactly what that means. I'll read my notes and explain it to you that this will replace a switchgear from the 1970s to ensure reliable power distribution. And of course, as a result, supports uninterrupted patient care, as well as it complies with modern safety standards and improves the resilience of the building overall. So digital projects, as we look forward, are going to include 3 large digital health IHY projects for infrastructure, Meditech, and electronic results. And this is really about ensuring that we have efficient and effective technology to deliver care. We ultimately wish to ensure that we have the infrastructure for documenting care, sharing information, as well as maintaining the confidentiality of that information and prevent against cybersecurity threats. There are a couple of pieces that are specific to the Kootenays that I wish to speak about. Single item that I wish to speak about. And this is at Arrow Lakes and is part of the Rural Emergency Department Sustainability Project. And it involves the implementation of what's called the Meditech Expanse Advanced Clinicals, which will enable the hospital to become fully electronic. This would be for our documentations, from physicians, nurses, allied health team members, and includes Arrow Lakes, Lillooet District Hospital, Dr. Helmkin Memorial Hospital in Clearwater, and the Princeton General Hospital. And really does align with provincial direction regarding changes to emergency department services and supporting that work. Members of the board would be familiar with the term LinkED. It was a project that was announced back in December by Interior Health, which is about improving reliability of services in our rural sites. And teams began piloting an overnight care model in Nakusp, Lillooet, Clearwater, and Princeton. And it blends in-person care with virtual physician support to maintain stable overnight emergency services. And while a formal evaluation is underway, the results are pretty clear between roughly the 8th of December and the 8th of January, that there are good results as a result of this work, seeing no closures or service disruptions and good patient satisfaction. And on average, the LinkED physician will care for about 3 patients in their local hospital, as well as 2 more virtually at another site.
Well, we have a question from Director McLaren Co from Nakusp.
Thank you, Chair, and through the Chair, just a bit of positive feedback, Lennon. I had the displeasure of engaging with the overnight service at the Arrow Lakes Hospital with a family member, and I was quite pleased with the service, and personally, and I appreciate the innovative use of technology to keep those emergency rooms open. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you for the good news, and I'm glad your family member received good care. The beauty of this is not only does it maintain the services, but it has given our clinicians some much needed respite. In many of these communities, we don't have enough physicians to provide the services. And so it allows them to have a full night's rest and be able to go back and see their patients in their offices the next day. So there are multiple benefits to this. And it remains a pilot and we're learning as we go. But for sure, there are improvements that we've identified in workflow and scheduling of staff, which we will continue to work on as the pilot continues. I see another hand.
Yep, Director Marino, go ahead.
Hi, Lennon. I'm probably talking too much, but I think this is one of the most exciting things we're talking about rural health. Because in order to keep these emergency departments open, we need to do more of this where we can access a doctor from Nakusp anywhere in the world to look at imaging, right? And that's where we're going. And I think we all better get used to that, because if we can't have physicians living in the rural and remote areas, we need to access them somehow. So how is this tying into the digital improvement process with IH? And one of the questions I have, and I know there's a committee with the Ministry of Health looking at using AI in healthcare. How's that? Are you tied into that? Is that part of the process? Because I think we need to start getting ready for using AI in our hospitals.
Two questions there. Happy to address both. I'm going to work my way backwards. So AI does exist. The most prolific use of AI in healthcare is through documentation. Transcription AI, which listens to a conversation between a patient and a clinician and is able to extrapolate information and then generates a medical report for that interaction. So we have policy and allow physicians at this time, just our physicians and nurse practitioner staff, to use transcription AI to support their services. And there's really good evidence in the literature that talks about time savings that occur by using that. So I think we're following the trend. We may not be ahead of it, but we're certainly in line with it in the health authority and are using it. And as for how this connects to the digital health strategy, it's entirely linked. And to some degree, we're getting a little bit of a boost and a head start on the digital health work, because there's some other infrastructure pieces that have to be implemented for all of our pieces of technology to talk to one another. So this will improve the delivery of medication at ALH through the introduction of Omnicell, scanning requirements when we are delivering medication, which improves medication safety, as well as allows the physician in Clearwater, for example, to very easily access the patient chart and all of the charting information for the patient who is in the cusp. If there is any digital, medical imaging that needs to be seen, they'll be able to see that as well, because now they have full access across all of our those 4 sites as a start.
Okay, well, that's very positive. Thank you.
Great question. Thank you.
Director Main. You're on mute, Director Main.
Okay, I've got it now. Thanks. I'm going to take this to a slightly different take on the emergency departments, where there's been, in the last few topics discussed, a lot of emphasis on physicians. I'm going to bring you the example of the New Denver Health Campus that is experiencing and has been experiencing for 3 years overnight closure of the emergency department because of lack of nursing staff. So, I appreciate the technology that's going into the places that it's going into and the benefits that it brings, but we can't pretend that we are actually covering all of our rural areas. The New Denver Health Campus serves a catchment in reality from hills down to below Slocan City. And we're constrained by the technology that we do or don't have, and by the nursing staff restrictions that we're finding. So I just want to put this into the mix that the work that's getting done is great, but we are leaving some of our communities behind. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Main. Acknowledged. This is one avenue that gives us a leg up on one of our health human resources challenges. But you're right, there's still work to be done in other communities to ensure reliable services. And there's some remaining investment and funding requests that I'm going to work through as quickly as I can. We're nearly at the end of the slides. The Castlegar District Health Center fire alarm system that Matt spoke to a while ago now, that system is obsolete. It's 40 years old and risk of failing. And it's not supported by any of the vendors and not reliable. Now, the project was designed to replace the entire system and integrate it into the building security system. And when the original budgeting was done for this, it was assumed that the existing infrastructure, that being the electrical panels, the wiring and security system, could be reused. And following some assessments, it was determined that that was not going to be possible without a substantial risk of failure. And that has led to the increased fund request to replace this infrastructure. And so the ask specifically here, and just as a reminder, there was an RHD approved support of $550,000 in bylaw number 408 towards the original project of approximately $1 million, 1.4 million. And this budget increase is for $233,200, as it says, with a 40% contribution from the RHD of $93,000. Next is the West Kootenay Boundary Global Grant Equipment. This is to support the purchase of equipment that is under $100,000 and is for what I would describe as smaller pieces of equipment, things like beds or patient lifts, vital signs monitors, some pieces of equipment that go into the laboratory, that go into an ultrasound machine, support the distribution of medications in the pharmacy. The global ask, based on Interior Health's 2026 capital budget for projects here in the West Kootenay Boundary, is $9.2 million. And the funding request from the RHD is for $3.7 million. In the case of funding shortfalls, and if the board chooses to provide an alternate level of funding, for example, we would have to re-examine this year's capital budget and potentially delay or cancel projects to bring the budget in line with the available funding. That concludes our formal presentation. I really appreciate your attention to me and this information, and Matt and I are open for any additional questions that you may have.
I have one, and maybe Matt would know more. I just can't imagine your fire alarm sounds like it's 1.7 million now. Are you having to retrofit doors like with mag locks and stuff like that to automatically close off fire separations, or like what's changed, or is it just a change in market price escalating from 1.4 million to add another $250,000?
My understanding is there's a combination of market prices as well as what was originally scoped and thought in terms of the conditions of the building and where the upgrades were going to be happening. We encountered things that were unexpected and had to reassess and determine that the scope had to be expanded a bit and the cost increased.
So adding doors and hardware and stuff like that, fire doors? Or?
Yeah, I'm not sure about those specifics.
Sounds huge.
Director Marino.
Here I am again. So I'm thinking about the new mental health care unit in Nelson, right? And with all the stuff that's going on in Nelson, Cascar Trail and the area, it would be nice to hear what the results are having this new unit. You know, being able to serve more patients, better outcomes, that kind of stuff. Would we be able to get a summary from someone about how it's improved the care?
Through the chair, I'd like to answer that.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm happy to do that, Director Marino. We can work on providing a bit of information about the new center in downtown Nelson. In fact, services are being provided both at the community services building and the downtown location. It was identified that there is a subset of the population that really needs access to services close to where they are, and that's the downtown space. But I can bring back a short slide deck that would outline that.
Yeah, it would be good to see so that maybe we take these, whatever's working and use it in other places. Anyways, thank you very much.
Any other questions? Great. Thank you both for your presentations and everyone for their great questions. Director Main.
Yeah, thank you once again. I am curious how frequently a facility condition assessment is done on each of the facilities. Specifically, when was the last facility condition assessment done on the New Denver Health Campus? And can I get a copy of it? Thank you.
I can, yeah, so, our team does, regular assessments of the conditions of our buildings, so, I can certainly follow up on the New Denver facility. Find out some information on that one.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Great, so we will now move into business arising out of the minutes. There was a letter sent regarding health connections, based upon a motion made at the meeting. And then for the response to the Ministry of Transportation and Transit response letter. And regarding the ABRH second access road. New business, we received Chair Baker's report. Thank you, Chair Baker, or former Chair Baker.
My apologies, Chair Huitt. We're having trouble hearing you down here.
Okay,
All right.
usually I'm not that quiet. I'm trying not to yell. So, all right, and 4.7.2 Interior Health Capital Funding Request. And thank you for pointing that out. So the recommendation is that the West Kootenay Boundary Regional Hospital District Board consider funding each of the items in the Interior Health Authority's 2026 funding request, and that staff be directed to prepare the necessary bylaws for board review and decision at the March 25th, 2026 board. Moved by
Second.
Worley and seconded by Director McGregory. Any discussion? Question? Anyone opposed? That motion passes. And then we have the accounts payable summary, which has been received. Are there any questions regarding that? Director Weatherhead.
Hi, thank you through the chair. I just happened to notice that the page that lists the director's stipends, I was just a little confused as to what is this portraying? There's only about 10 of the regional district directors listed there, and some, quite a few, are not listed. So I just wondered, is there another page?
Expense reimbursement or the stipend?
Going down.
Stipend or the expenses or both?
Yeah, just the stipend.
It's over here.
This is 4.7.3. Is that correct, Chair Huitt?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see anything wrong with this. I can reconcile the attendance to the stipend list.
Okay. Maybe I'm missing a page then. I just my own name wasn't on there, and then I got looking and found there wasn't some other names as well.
There's a Rackham.
I'm gonna try looking at it again. I went over it a couple times.
So through the chair, if I look at the minutes for the meeting that covered that, you weren't at that meeting, Director Leatherhead. Director Graham, Director Newell, Director Hanegraaff, Director Weatherhead, Director Casely, all missed the last meeting. And there was only one meeting in that 6-month period.
That would make sense then. Thank you. Sorry.
No problem, it's best to clarify. Any questions on that report? So that has been received, and as have the 2025 UBCM provincial meeting notes. Were there any questions on that? Right, so then we will go on to 4.7.5. The meeting dates, and the proposed meeting dates are today, Wednesday, March 25th, and Wednesday, June 24th. Any questions, concerns? And
I do have a question if I may.
go ahead, Director Papa.
Generally, the executive meets at UBCM. Are we not going to have a meeting before UBCM? Or is that going to be the Wednesday, June 24th meeting?
It will be that one, but I would suggest that if directors have items that they want to have meetings on, don't hesitate to email them to staff ahead of time. You don't need to wait for a meeting to bring them up. So if you have a suggestion, if by all means, if you could have it in by the March meeting, and then that gives the executive committee a chance in between to discuss those. So the same goes for everybody. Please don't hesitate at any time to send those in to staff.
Supplemental, if I may.
Yep, go
So
ahead.
therefore, the executive will bring the recommendations that you're going to use or going to have for the UBCM for the June 24th meeting?
I wasn't part of setting the meeting schedule, so what were the thoughts on that? Usually that's. Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So the recommendation is that those 4 dates be set, and we'll just move for the March 25th and June 24th. And there, it says that we typically had canceled the October meeting, so it can be scheduled at any time if we feel there's a need for another meeting. So it's better not to schedule it and have to cancel. So
I will move the recommendation.
Popoff, and second by Director Claire and Co. Anybody opposed? It's carried. And that brings us to a question period for the public and the media. Are there any questions? We'll go to in the room first. Do you have any questions? Okay, thank you. And what about online? You can just unmute and ask your question. Either members of the public or the Valley Voice. Or any other media? Okay. One more time, any questions? Right, so that brings us to adjournment. So I'll take a motion to adjourn. At 7:53. I'm going home. Although, anyone opposed to adjourning? Well, thank you, everybody.
Cheers. Thank you, everyone. Lovely to see some faces.
Thank you much.
Try to see how you get on a little bit deaf in the right ear and more deaf in the left ear.
It was talking. But don't, I mean, only 20 minutes from. Yeah.
And you know, I sat on the committee. Cheryl is there.
The last time we were.
But it is a big
Just the deal. You know, the space on what has to happen there, the building.
Building.